do need a moment to set things up, but here we go. We're jumping into our next series. Now we are jumping in mid-series. As a reminder here, the winner of this matchup will go up against Cure. Cure is waiting for one of these two players, and we're here to find out which one. As spawning in the bottom left-hand corner of Ultra Love, we have the South Korean Terran player, the blue Terran representing Team Falcons. It is Bunny. And spawning in the top right-hand corner, we have the red Terran player, the South Korean Terran representing Seoul Esports. It is GuMiho. Here we go as we are jumping into our TvT again, jumping in mid-series. We are currently tied up 1-1, and we're jumping into game number 3. Oh boy, and if you're in the chat, you know what time it is. It is Gamba time. Predictions are now open. Place your bets on who you think will claim the series. Best of luck in the chat as we jump into our fresh best of, or I say best, as we jump into our best of 5. To jump in. Now, we aren't quite aware or aren't quite familiar with what happened in game 1 and game 2. We just know they were longer games, right? They were longer games. I think game 1 was 21 minutes. I did see earlier. I was keeping an eye on the other players. Game 1 was a longer one. And we're here to find out who will take a lead in the series. Double gas opener out of GuMiho. Meanwhile, Bunny going for a Rax Expand economic start instead. So already we do divert. Already we have some differing openers and differing builds. GuMiho will have a faster factory. Bunny with the faster command center. So GuMiho is going to be the aggressor. Bunny is going to be the defender. We go. And from the side of GuMiho, we'll see how hard we commit. From here, we can go into Reactor Reaper Hellion. We can go for an earlier Cyclone. But GuMiho will expand. Does claim his natural. Does claim his natural. GuMiho poking out. Ooh. Is going to be punished though. Has to retreat. Has to respect the Reaper of Bunny. Does have to respect it. Bunny setting up defensively here with a bunker. Bunker's on the way. Factory's on the way. Getting to his own 1-1-1 setup. And from the side of GuMiho, it looks like we are going for the initial reactor. But not committing too hard to Hellions. Okay. It's going to be one Hellion, 2 Reapers, so not a big commitment here early on to any kind of Hellion aggression. Is going into a much faster tech lab. From here, we can go into faster tank production or even into a faster Cyclone. We'll see which we go for. You know, GuMiho here does just rush past the bunker, heads into the mineral line. SCVs are exposed. Getting one. Yeah, one SCV goes down, diving on the Marines. Nice splash damage with the Hellion, and both Marines will fall. Not a bad trade. Trades out 1 Hellion, 1 Reaper for an SCV and 2 Marines. More importantly, does economic damage. And denies mining as well. Denies mining at the natural. With that, even though Bunny had the faster command center, we do see GuMiho with the slightly higher worker count. Now, Bunny does have an extra mule, so there is, that factor coming in. So Bunny is still in a decent position economically, but GuMiho is slowly catching up. Is catching up. Behind this, we have confirmation, and not a Cyclone, early tank. Early tank production, first and second tank on the way. Medevac is on the way for the drop. And there is a position here on Ultra Love where you can siege up on the right hand side and actually get within range of the mineral patches. You can deny mining. This is just a brutal position here, and GuMiho is going for it. He's going for the tank drop. Behind this, abandoning any kind of medevac production, going into Vikings instead. We can actually turn this into mech. We can just mech it up. Oh, tank does siege. Bunny quick to siege as well. Oh, it's gonna be close. As Bunny barely out of range. But already these 3 patches here, no mining. No mining from these patches. GuMiho here does reposition. It will respect the Viking. Does pull away. Bunny likewise also going into tank Viking. So both players mirroring each other when it comes to the follow-ups. Just making as many tanks as Vikings, as tank and Vikings as we can. Again, this is a much more traditional form of TvT. Just tank Viking. If we were casting Beyond, then he'd be rushing into Stim and rushing into more Raxes. Into a more bio-heavy composition. GuMiho, he does have map control, getting his third base on location. Oh. Meanwhile, Bunny does shoot first with his Vikings. Bunny fighting for map control. Looking for a way in. GuMiho will zone him back. Bunny, he will retreat. And what's important here is this, like GuMiho, he doesn't have to push in, doesn't have to break the main or break the natural. What he's doing here, as he is going into the main, by the way, he's crazy. Oh, does say the Vikings going for production. He has control of the ramp. He's trying to at least. Gets tanks just going up, gets one tank. Gets the one. Ooh, but the tank volleys are brutal. Yeah, volleys are brutal, and in the end, GuMiho, he will lose everything in the main. Yeah, this is not worth it. The tanks go down, the Vikings go down. And what I was going to say earlier, as GuMiho, he loses everything, is that GuMiho, he didn't have to push in. All he had to do was contain. All he had to do was deny the third because he had his own. His own was on location. Alas, GuMiho, he got a little bit too greedy, and in the end, it did lose everything. 3 tanks, 4 Vikings, and now it's go time. Now it's time to counterattack. The boys are being pulled as well, okay, some of them at least, to repair. And GuMiho, he's lacking an army. He's lacking an army. He has to abandon the third. Does lift, does pull away. And now the reverse is true, in saying that Bunny doesn't have to push into these bases. All Bunny has to do is deny the third. Just contain GuMiho. You know, GuMiho being a little bit risky here. He does counterattack. Does sneak by. His army gets spotted. GuMiho, he will get a couple of SCVs. Bunny is forced back home. GuMiho going for the ninja. He's crazy. Does land elsewhere. First things first here at the 4th location, and he does go for the ninja base at the same time. Bunny also going for his 4th, at double expanding essentially. Both players are. On the one hand, I was going to say that this is a way for GuMiho to recover economically and to get a lead and to get ahead and be cheeky, but Bunny's also taking his 4th base even faster than that of GuMiho. And we're making it up. Double factory on the way. Bunny is playing mech. On the side of GuMiho, I can say almost the same. Going double factory alongside double starport. Now, when it comes to TvT, a lot of this does come down to air control. Air control is paramount in TvT. That's why we're investing so heavily into Vikings. Now, the reason why air control is so important is because tanks, they shoot further than they can see. Which is a unique kind of dynamic with TvT and with tank versus tank. So air vision and just vision in general is that much more important. To maintain that air control, to maintain that vision, to allow your tanks to actually make use of their range. So GuMiho making 4 Vikings at a time. GuMiho double expanding, getting bottom right, and claiming his 3rd as well. So far, Bunny still has that Viking lead. The reason for this, of course, if you remember, is because GuMiho lost 4 Vikings earlier in the main. So in a mirror matchup, GuMiho is still behind inside Vikings. But he is catching up thanks to the 2nd starport. Turrets being thrown down. We have Blue Flame on the way. We have Mechville accelerators as well. And with mech versus mech coming into play, now is the time to get some snacks, get some food, get some water. We're going to be here for a while. It's the game is going to slow down. So far, when it comes to worker counts, GuMiho does have a worker lead. He doesn't really have the most efficient mining, but he's getting there. Likewise, welcome to Ultra Love. If you remember, we spoke about this last time, but Ultra Love is an extreme map. What I mean by that is a map of extremes. We often see a lot of early game aggression, early game all-ins, or we see a lot of late game. The reasoning for this is because the rush distance by ground is quite short, and the bases themselves early on are quite accessible, but as the game progresses, when we get up to 4 bases, that's when the game can slow down. The reason for this terrain. We have some brutal choke points here in the center. These 2 bridges, they're so narrow, so trying to get past this into a siege line with your opponent in position is difficult. Same with these other points of elevation. More choke points, more elevated locations as well. Here on the right and left hand side, it is hard to really get past these locations unscouted and get past your opponent's army. We often do see a lot of late game on Ultra Love. Yeah, sensor towers being thrown down, siege lines are being made. We're walling up and looking to max out. Likewise, more sensor towers. So after all that early game aggression, the game is in a way equalizing. I say in a way, we do have still a bit of a disparity between the players. We have 19 Vikings for GuMiho. Again, we spoke about it, but that second starport is coming in clutch here, and GuMiho has a massive Viking lead. When it comes to the tank count also in favor of GuMiho. Instead, oh, I just realized Bunny, he's been making a lot of Cyclones. He's going into Battle Mech. He's not going into your traditional tank Viking, he's going Cyclone Viking instead. Now, this is going to be interesting. Cyclones, as you can imagine, they shoot up, right? Cyclones, they're a way to support the Vikings. So on the one hand, yes, GuMiho has a massive Viking lead, but Bunny can still take a fight thanks to the Cyclones. The downside, though, is that Bunny, with this battle mech composition, he's going to have a hard time pushing into these siege lines. Like, these siege lines of tanks are going to be superior in that sense, assuming they're in position. Bunny has a more mobile force. So he can poke, he can prod. If at any moment there's a weak point in the defenses, if at any moment there's maybe a weak point, maybe only 1 or 2 tanks instead of the 4 or 5, then Bunny can break through. That's the thing here. Bunny, his entire army is being active and is patrolling. Meanwhile, GuMiho is spread out, right? He's spread between all these bases with his tanks. Not with all, but with some. So GuMiho, he will not fight with his entire army when the fight occurs. Look at the tank. Tank goes down. Fusion core's on the way. That should be for Liberators. Bunny rotates towards the left-hand side. And he does get 2 tanks. Yeah, 2 tanks going down. A Viking as well. GuMiho is trying to keep up with the rotations. He's trying to keep up. And so far he is. But again, I'll be honest, I'm not used to seeing this kind of dynamic in TvT. Like, battle mech versus, like, traditional mech. Like, it's not something you see often. And, I mean, there's potential, of course, if GuMiho gets caught unsieged. If he gets caught unsieged, then Bunny can just collapse in. But now Bunny going for a counterattack. And GuMiho out of position, we go for the base trade. Oh, what's the plan? 1 tank gets picked up. Bunny turns back around. GuMiho's pre-siege. Takes down one of the tanks. And GuMiho does siege up. But does he have enough tanks? There we go. He does go for the mass land. Yeah, lands the Vikings to buffer. And that's a lot of Vikings. With that tank foliage, they just pop off. They shut down the Vikings of Bunny. And GuMiho, he will just completely dominate this fight. Again, these tanks in the backline, they did so much. And you can see that in a head-on fight, GuMiho will take it. Bunny cannot fight head-on, and he will lose everything. With that, CC goes down. Bunny, he has all these bases, but it won't matter. It will not matter. Not anymore. CC goes down. GuMiho pushing forward. We spoke about it. The advantage that Bunny had was his mobility, which means you can counterattack, you can catch reinforcements, you can backstab, you can head into mineral lines, head into bases. What you can't do is fight head on. Not against a tank army like this. Not with battle mech. Or I guess you could. And we saw what happened. I mean, we saw what happened, but yeah. GuMiho on patrol, lands in the main, cancels production, takes down the tanks. Yeah, tanks are falling. Bunny trying to respond. Meanwhile, GuMiho, he does abandon some of his tanks. They're left alone. But what about the main? What about the main base? As GuMiho stutter stepping in, takes down the starport, takes down the add-ons. Bunny racing back home. The production is under fire. And GuMiho. But you want to enter a TvT mech game against... You want to out-mech GuMiho? Nah. Who do you think you are, young? Mate, calm down. Ryung's in the other TvT. As Bunny does move out. Again, the best chance that Bunny has is to just backstab, to counterattack instead. But GuMiho is just going straight for the kill, straight for the production. The throat here, the heart of the bases of Bunny. The heart of the Terran. There you go, lands here in the main, cancel production. Bunny, he attempts the base trade. But the problem with the base trade is that GuMiho, he's already in the bases. Like, he's already in the natural, he's already in the main. And GG gets called. GuMiho, he will take a lead in the series at 2-1. GG. Whew. GG, well played. Will take a lead. And again, it was a dicey start initially, I'll be honest. Like, it was it was a little bit dicey there for GuMiho, especially when it came to losing his first wave of army, his first tanks, of course, when he jumped into the main, when he lost all of his Vikings as well. It was a rough start for GuMiho, but alas, but in the end, he was able to recover, he was able to double expand, and with that, he was able to get into what he knew was necessary, of course, into that mass Viking, into that tank-heavy composition as well. He got there. Oh. And now we're jumping into our next game, and we'll see if GuMiho can close it out. And we'll see if Bunny can force the ace match. Here we go. Whew. So we are now getting into our next game. We're going to be loading into Tokamak. And spawning in the bottom left-hand corner of Tokamak, we have the South Korean Terran player, the Blue Terran, representing Team Falcons. Down in the series, we'll see if he can bounce back, we'll see if he can recover and force the ace match. It is Bunny. And spawning in the top right-hand corner, we have the South Korean Terran player, the Red Terran, representing Seoul Esports. Leading the series 2-1, it is GuMiho. We go. As GuMiho, he moves out with not just one, with two SCVs. We're going for the proxy 2 racks. Let's go. A much more aggressive start here from GuMiho. Again, he does have a lead, and it is not uncommon to cheese it up here in TvT, especially amongst the Koreans, once you have that advantage with not just one, with a second racks as well. So 2 racks Reaper here out of GuMiho. Bunny, though, does open up double gas opener out of Bunny. Now, with the double gas opener, what does that mean? That means a faster factory. That means a delayed command center, a delayed economy, which is going to be ideal against a proxy. So essentially, there's going to be a window. There's going to be a window in time where GuMiho is going to be up when it comes to Reapers, because he has 2 Raxes as opposed to the 1 Rax of Bunny. That is true, but Bunny will have to pull the boys, buy time for the factory to finish, buy time for the Hellion, and if he can minimize losses, then Bunny can hold. Like Bunny, he will have the tools to defend, he will have the tools to hold. GuMiho is being hyper aggressive, but alas, this is not like an insta win or anything like that. It comes down to the army, or to the player micro, to the player control. There we go, GuMiho knows. He pokes in, and GuMiho, he's aware that he's on a bit of a timer. He's aware of the factory. Factory's on the way. Reapers are building up. Now, as a reminder as well, this is not an all-in. This is not an all-in. You can still expand behind this. You can still transition out of this. But this also has the potential to end the game. Ooh, as Bunny scouts. Yeah, he scouts, he checks, he does confirm. And from here, Bunny, he can pre-pull the boys. He can pre-pull SCVs to defend. Yep, there we go. Does pre-pull them. 3 SCVs, 4 SCVs already moved out. Now again, if Bunny hadn't scouted this, then this wouldn't be happening. Like, as in, he wouldn't be pre-prepared like this, where he has SCVs ready to defend. And again, he has to protect his Reaper. Oh! GuMiho pokes in. Pokes in, does pull away. And so far, he's done it. Now we have a second Reaper, and we're a couple of seconds away from the Hellion. Bunny is held. And GuMiho, his response, factory back at home into that CC on the low ground. GuMiho is transitioning out of this. The game will continue. As GuMiho is looking for another way in. Oh. Jumping into the main. Does get past the army. Will delay the CC. Not bad. Takes down a Reaper. Takes down 1 SCV. Takes down a second. Yeah, 2 SCVs do go down. That's because here by GuMiho. And he will pull away. And he doesn't lose a single Reaper. Very nice trades here. Again, GuMiho not losing a single unit so far. so very efficient. But again, there's a lot of pressure on GuMiho to get damage done because his command center is late, right? Remember, because of the cheese, because of the proxy, the command center is delayed for GuMiho, so he has to get as much value as possible to make up for that. Going back in, takes down the Marine. Takes down the Marine once again, goes into the middle line. Oh, before he goes off, boards are being pulled, delays CC once again, takes out one of the Hellions. And GuMiho is trading out a lot of Reapers this time, but once again, he delays the CC. He does kill the building worker, so GuMiho is catching up. He's catching up with that timing. Oh no! GuMiho! He's an animal. He steals the add-on. I haven't seen that in a long time. The floating Rax goes in, he takes the add-on for himself. This was meant to be for a Cyclone, by the way, for Bunny. GuMiho. Let's go. With that, the Cyclone is going to be 9. We do have Cloak Banshee on the way. This is going to delay Bunny, as Bunny, he needs that add-on. And I mean, otherwise this army would be across the map. Like GuMiho, you'd be in trouble, you'd be defending right now. But no, the army's delayed. And there we go, the Rax finally does go down. And finally Bunny can land. He can now start up his tank or his Cyclone. There we go, tank's on the way. GuMiho. And Bunny, as a response, double expand, third TC, going for the third TC. Bunny now claims his own, and that once again, GuMiho is here to delay. He delays the command center once again. Back at home is mining. Back at home, even though GuMiho's base was later, even though he did open up with a proxy Rax, GuMiho has a better economy. GuMiho, he does have mining here at the natural. His opponent does not. His opponent's mining is delayed. So a very nice start here by GuMiho. Very cheeky move as well. Both times. So many delays, and this isn't just delaying the expansion. Again, it's delaying all of this army from moving out across the map. Remember, GuMiho, he lost all his Reapers. Remember the trade that we just saw? Like GuMiho, he lost 6 Reapers earlier when he was fighting in the main base, so he was vulnerable to a counterattack. He was vulnerable to his opponent, but Bunny has been stuck at home. He's been stuck at home because of all these Raxes, because of all these shenanigans, and it has allowed GuMiho to recover. To now get an economic lead. You can see 37 workers to 34. Taking his gases, muling of course, and now getting into his own mech. This time, he is going for battle mech. Okay, Macro accelerators on the way. Meanwhile, Banshee arrives, Banshee gets shut down. GuMiho playing safe, had his Cyclones, had his Raven as well. He also did scout at the researching tech lab with his Rax, so he knew everything that was happening. He was aware of the Cloak Banshee. Was aware. Second Banshee into the main. GuMiho does have another Raven, does have another Cyclone. Again, the Raven is a detector. So GuMiho, he just completely shuts down both Banshees. Ay, ay, ay. This was an expensive commitment here by Bunny to invest into Cloak, to invest into the Banshees. And they killed 2 SCVs. That was not worth it. Not worth it for Bunny. With that, now he's trying to settle down, getting to his own mech. Just now, halfway through Macro accelerators, getting his upgrades. Landing his third CC. GuMiho here has his own. So GuMiho, faster natural, now faster third base as well. GuMiho looking quite comfortable. The pressure is on Bunny. It's hard to be active without the upgrade though. Like, we're still waiting for the upgrade. Still waiting for Macro accelerators. Bunny, he scouts, he confirms third base is up and running. He's aware of the economic state of GuMiho. Scans, spots the main army. Bunny looking for another way in. Rotating over. It does rotate. I love in the chat. I've never seen this. It's crazy. It's GuMiho. He's lost his mind, man. Aye, aye, aye. And now the game is slowing down. The game is slowing down. GuMiho is still enjoying a better economy, building up his tank count, building up his mech. As opposed to the last game, this time GuMiho, he's not prioritizing Viking production. As you can see, he's going into his own Cyclones, his own more mobile composition. So we have a very different dynamic compared to last game. Remember, last game, GuMiho built up like this brute force of an army of mass Viking tank. This time he's also instead focusing on more mobility. On those cyclones. Speaking of the floating racks is dealt with. Does burn down. Bonnie reinforcing. Better lock onto your from. GuMiho mass disable as well. Yeah, nice disables. Does lock down some of those cyclones. GuMiho has to respect the tanks though. It does pull away. Does pull back to his own. It does pull back overall. Both players did lose 4 cyclones. So an even cyclone trade. I believe GuMiho lost a Raven. Yeah, it did lose 1. 2 Ravens left. Still very tense. What's concerning to me here is that GuMiho doesn't actually have many Hellions, so he doesn't have much buffer for his army. Again, Hellions, they play a crucial role in this dynamic. They're not really built to deal damage. The Hellions, I mean, they're built to tank. They're built to soak damage and be that buffer for the Cyclones. The Cyclones are the real damage dealers. So GuMiho's army is a little bit more fragile as he's switching into a more tank-heavy composition, switching out of Cyclones into tanks. And now we expand. 4th base for Bunny. GuMiho starting up his own. The game is slowing down. Whew, okay, the game is slowing down. We can see both players are switching out of Cyclone into more tanks. The one Hellion run by. GuMiho scans, does confirm that Bunny is expanding. As Bunny's looking for another way in. Bunny splits up his army. So we have a Hellion Cyclone on one side, we have a tank composition on the other. Trying to break through. GuMiho is aware of one. Bunny, he does scan. Does see these stray tanks. With that, Bunny consolidating his forces. Still looking for a way in. Oh! He's going for it. He's going for the dive. Yeah, GuMiho a little bit late to respond. First tank goes down. Second tank as well. Nice big goes here by Bunny. Takes down 2 tanks, just forcing his way through. GuMiho late to siege, late to react. Does disable, just barely. But it may not be enough. Yeah, Vikings, they do late in time, and the tank line is going to barely survive. I say that, still 2 tanks left. Oh, only 2. And the tank barely goes down. As I say that, Bunny also lost a lot of forces. Now moving in. Yeah, and GuMiho has to abandon the base. Again, Bunny, he was eyeing up this location for quite some time. And GuMiho didn't notice. So late to react. CC goes down. Massive pickup. Takes down a command center. Now GuMiho still has a comparable army. But he can't move into this. He cannot push in. GuMiho is set up. Going for a counterattack instead. Expand towards the left. Bunny, he's rotating. GuMiho does spot this. Oh! And he's going to be caught out. GuMiho will lose 2 more tanks. At the same time, Hellies, they bust into the mineral line. Yeah, CVs are going down. Nice damage. Bunny racing back home. Does race back. 13 SCVs go down. Bunny, he's up in bases. GuMiho up in SCVs. GuMiho will find a stray tank. Stray tank goes down. But Bunny still has that tank lead. Still looking for a way in. You know, GuMiho does have Liberators. Liberation has arrived. Just the one. Yeah, Bunny, he scanned earlier. He's aware of the base. He wants it. This time, GuMiho is aware. And you can see Bunny, he scans, he sees the Cyclones, he backs up. Bunny, he backs off, he doesn't risk it. Pulls away. The one random Banshee. Let's go. And GuMiho holds. Again, this is a very tense situation. GuMiho did lose an expansion, but what's important, he preserved the SCVs. Like, the worker count here was actually quite solid, or quite solid here for GuMiho. It was very healthy, I should say. And GuMiho, he maxes out. Impressive. He's maxed out as a 200 supply, and Bunny has fallen behind. Doesn't help they lost all those SCVs earlier. GuMiho is still very much so in this game. Does counterattack. Wants the base. Tank is exposed. Gets a free tank. And he wants that base. He wants that CC. Yeah, Bunny out of position. Lock-ons are brutal in this expansion. It's going to go down. Oof. Yeah, base falls. GuMiho pushing forward. Momentum now back in GuMiho's favor. Again, it's one of those things where Bunny, like, he killed a base and sure he traded, but it was not enough. Not to take a lead. GuMiho moving in. Bunny is set up on the high ground. Is set up. Bunny, he's able to max out himself. Oh. He is maxing out. And does gain some ground here, cashing out a couple of tanks. Yeah, 2-3 tanks going down. GuMiho did overextend. Behind this fusion core is on the way. This should be for a little bit of range. We can work towards BCs, and there's the tech labs. Yeah, tech labs are on the way. Getting into BC production, potentially. We'll see if we can get there. Or we could just be going mass Raven. There we go. Raven production has begun for GuMiho. That is kind of like the late game TvT. Getting into all the spellcasters. Getting into mass Raven. And Bunny's working towards it as well. Yeah, he's going straight for the fusion core, straight for battle cruisers. Yamato's on the way. So for those that are curious about the dynamic of TvT, like for the mid game, it's all about tank versus tank. As you can see here, like these tank lines, they are able to slow each other down, or you're able to catch your opponent out of position. How do you break these siege lines? Well, there are a couple of ways. One way, take to the skies, right? Take to the skies, avoid these tanks and just go straight into Sky Terran, into battle cruisers. Instead, we have GuMiho going into not BC, but Raven. Going into Raven, Ravens have a spell called Interference Matrix that can disable mech-based units. So they're a way to, in a way, lock down tanks or lock down BCs. But GuMiho hasn't really started his own transition yet. He does have his starports ready, but he's maxed out. He can't make anything. So currently, I do favor the mass BC that Bunny's working on. I feel like this is like, he's working on that next step. GuMiho is still making more Ravens. So he's relying on his Ravens instead. The Viking count is non-existent. There's only one Viking for GuMiho. He doesn't really have the best response here. He doesn't know. He doesn't know that beasts are coming. GuMiho's in the dark. Ravens will help, but they won't be the best answer. Assuming that Yamato goes off on the Ravens and the anti-air is still limited. So more battle cruisers on the way. They're being preserved here in the main. Again, ideally, Bunny wants to hide them, bank them up, and then reveal his hand. So he's hiding the BCs. I say that. Now moving out. GuMiho will find the expansion. Yeah, it does push in. Bunny out of position. These are going to be good trades here. Better trades for GuMiho. Getting within range of the CC. Will bring it down. And behind this, going into mass cyclone. I mean, cyclone, true. Anti-air, that will help. Switching into mass cyclone. GuMiho, he's yet to scan the main. BCs are now revealed. Now he knows. Yeah, BCs are revealed. SCV's going to be going down. Turrets will buy time. GuMiho evacuates. And he responds. Yeah, he's racing back. He's racing back home. Oh, never mind. Repositioning. Denies mining. Okay. He doesn't overreact. Denies mining. Expansion will force Cyclones. They do arrive in time. They force a teleport. BCs, they teleport back home. And they're preserved. That's what's important here. We're slowly building up that BC count. We have 2. Soon to be even more. As more BCs are on the way. More battle cruisers. You know, we have how many ravens? We have 7. 7 ravens for GuMiho. BCs hit the right hand side once again. Turrets are finishing up. GuMiho once again not quite in position. He has to respond. He's racing over. And you can see how frustrating these BCs can be to deal with. As they get 9 SCVs. And remember, they can teleport. They can teleport away. GuMiho moving in. Now, in a head-on fight, I still favor GuMiho. He's got a lot of Cyclones. Like, in a head-on fight, it's like the BCs, they won't be able to hold their own. As Cyclones, they lock onto the Vikings. Oof. They get another expansion. Another base goes down. Jesus. We have 7 battle cruisers. Sorry, 6. Did they run through the turrets? Yeah, the turrets take buy time, but the mineral line goes down. Now, if GuMiho can sneak up on these BCs, if he can disable, he can lock them down. But they do teleports. Diving on the tanks. You can see just how mobile they are. GuMiho having a hard time keeping up. I still do favor GuMiho in a head-on fight, though. Like, what's important here is that these BCs, the battlecruisers, they're doing a great job harassing and like counter-attacking and hitting these fringe bases. But in a head-on fight, it's like it's going to be difficult here for Bunny to really take that. Specifically because of this, because of these ravens. There are enough to disable every single battlecruiser. We'll see. As GuMiho has been losing bases, losing mineral lines, Bunny has a bank. Bunny has been more efficient. And GuMiho is running out of money. Another base goes down. Yeah, GuMiho limited mining. He's down to, what, 1.5 base saturation. Down to 45 SCVs. Like, GuMiho, he just wants to fight. And here they come. Disables tanks. Tanks are going to be disabled. Again, efficient fight here by GuMiho. He will clean everything up. And again, this is why Bunny cannot fight this army head on, because if he does, everything will be disabled. Like, GuMiho will just shut everything down, like we just saw. So if the armies clash, I still do favor GuMiho, but that's only if they clash. Like, so far, Bunny's been doing a great job at just counterattacking. Doing it once again. Hellion run by. Does get into the mineral lines. GuMiho taking down another base. Takes down another expansion. Oh. Bearing in mind, we also have Yamatos. 1 Raven goes down. We'll lose a Raven. Oh, the Hellions, they shut down the mineral lines. 23 SCV kills. Ay, ay, ay. Yeah, GuMiho losing so many workers. Unfortunately, these aren't planetaries, they're orbitals. So they can't defend themselves. How many BCs do we have? 9. Soon to be, oh god, soon to be 12? Yeah, 12 battle cruisers. That's a lot of battle cruisers. GuMiho, you will find the planetary. Bunny, he's responding. Now, a lot of this will come down to the spell caches themselves, because on the one hand, yes, GuMiho can disable everything. On the other hand, Bunny can also Yamato everything, right? Like, he does have Yamatos on every single one of these BCs. Oh, nice catch on the tanks. BC's coming in. Oh, and he does get some disables off, but oh, Yamatos, they do connect. GuMiho retreats. He backs off. He backs off and he's everything together. Does pull away. What's a little bit concerning now is that he did just burn a bunch of interference matrices, a bunch of disables, and now he doesn't really have much energy. There's not much energy left on these Ravens, so he has to wait for that. Has to recharge. GuMiho moving in. I don't know if GuMiho can engage right now. There's a decent amount of disables in the Ravens. A decent amount. GuMiho, he's just pushing right down mid. Okay. Just goes right down mid instead. Right towards the natural. Bunny's keeping up. GuMiho, he has some mining going on. Both players running out of resources. Both players running out of SCVs, I should say. Oh! Doesn't go for it. Meanwhile, the Hellion by this time gets found. Like, Bunny's been so annoying with these Hellions, but GuMiho does find them this time. It's keeping up. Bunny checks the right-hand side for the base. Oh! You got a couple of lock-ons. Yamatos, they go up. And BCs, they're quite tanky. They do get away. They took a lot of damage. But the battle cruisers do escape. They do float away. Once again, GuMiho checking for a base as well. Like, both players are constantly checking, constantly rotating to make sure there's no expansion. Barney's on 41 SCVs, GuMiho on 31. So economies are limited. GuMiho, he has a mineral bank, but minerals, it's not too important here. It's all about the gas. And there is some inefficient mining. We need that gas. GuMiho rotating over. There are only a couple of tanks protecting this natural, so GuMiho can find a way in. Yeah, speaking of. Oh! We'll lose a Raven, lose two. Two Ravens go down. That is important. We're down to 12. 12 Ravens versus 14 BCs. Yeah, GuMiho has to get the hell out of here. Has to pull away. Making more Ravens. GuMiho taking a fresh mining base, expanding towards top left. Bunny heading in that direction. Oh! Doesn't quite get another Raven. It's a lot of damage. And there's no saving this. GuMiho has to get the hell out of here. Oh, he engaged. He commits. Let's go. He does commit to the fight. Mass disable on the tanks. Disable on the BCs as well. And there we go. Does disable most BCs. With that, the Vikings, the Cyclones, they lock in. They lock on. And can they chase them down? Gets one. Up. Gets two. They teleport away. They do teleport. But two get left behind. Does catch more BCs. Not bad. Down to how many? Down to 10. 10 BCs left. Likewise, GuMiho is down to 2 Ravens. Again, the BCs, despite the lock-ons, they're just so tanky. They did get away. And Bunny, he preserved most of his army. He preserved most of the battle cruisers. GuMiho spent so much for that dive. And GuMiho, he plummets in supply. And once again, he has no gas income. Or limited gas income. He needs time. And we're still going for mass Raven cycling. So we have an interesting dynamic here where I would say GuMiho has better mining. I mean, he has more fresh bases, but Bunny has been more efficient. He's been more efficient here with those battle cruisers. Again, he's only lost, what, 4 so far this game. I guess 21 Ravens, Jesus. And he's got more battle cruisers on the way. It does feel like the DPS output of the Cyclone just isn't good enough. Not in their current numbers. Bunny will take another expansion. Battle cruisers moving in. GuMiho has to respond. Oof. Yeah, that was also a waste of energy there. That was a lot of anti-armor missiles. Ay, ay, ay. Missiles get spent. Base is denied. GuMiho, he is maxed out, but again, I don't know if he has. I still don't know if he has the best answer for this. Especially now that he's down to 3 Ravens. Like the ace in the hole that GuMiho had was the high Raven counts, but now it's not there anymore. Bearing in mind the GuMiho is maxed, but a lot of this max out was in Hellions because he had the excess minerals. So a lot of Hellions, Cyclones of course as well. Does bring down the command center. Command center goes down. Oh. Building up. GuMiho now going back into mass Raven production. He's getting there, but he has to build up from scratch almost. Does have to build up. Armor gets spotted. Bunny not quite in position. Yeah, you can see just how many Hellions there are. Like, that's what the Remax was on mainly Hellions and Hellbats. BC's teleporting in! Yeah, no anti-air. Free damage. The Hellions, they do go down. Or the Hellbats, I should say. Yamato on the BCs. Again, I don't see GuMiho engaging this. Not like this. Not yet. Like, Bunny's reached his final form of mass BC. He got there. Likewise catching out these tanks, which is nice and all. Does get a bunch of tanks for free. Nice trade. Very efficient trade here from GuMiho, but the tanks aren't the problem, the BCs are. Still nice though. Like, that was what, like 5-6 tanks? Oh my god, the mule, Jesus! the mule hammer! Yo, we got the Mjolnir here on the fresh mining base. Ay, ay, ay. That's what, 16 mules? Oh no! Hellions moving in. We'll get a couple of SCVs. Oof. Yamato on the Raven. Sorry, on the Cyclone. It's going to be 12 BCs moving in, going for the CC. At the same time, GuMiho takes down bottom right, or at least attempts to. And we'll trade a base for a base. Another tank goes down. Nice pickups. Nothing here is siege, which means he wants those 3 BCs. He wants them. Yeah, nice movement here by GuMiho. Remember, these 3 BCs, they're on cooldown. The teleport, I mean. And he will get them. Very nice catch. Not just that, he mows through some of those tanks. Takes out another CC. He can just keep going. So very nice run by. Oh my god! Does cut him off. Yeah, BCs will cut the army off. GuMiho has to get the hell out of here. Brutal Yamatos. Again, this was a very nice run by here from GuMiho. But Bunny's on the chase. He's not taking this laying down. As GuMiho was cut off. Base goes down. Bunny, he does get bottom right up and running somewhat. Down to 14 SEVs. And now Bunny's down to 9. He had 12 battle cruisers, now down to 9, as he did lose to 3 earlier. That is important. GuMiho, he has mining. His mining has the expansion. Battle cruisers into the main. Going for production. At the same time, GuMiho is getting everything else, and now he's back up to how many? 13 Ravens. Yeah, back up to 13. He will abandon his main. What does he want? He wants the fresh mining bases. Yeah, nice disables. Nice auto starts as well. Oh my god. Shutting down the ground army. Yeah, just mass auto starts here on Bunny. He cannot escape. He's gonna be trapped. Oof. Losing everything. And BC's sure they kill some of the production, but the army goes down, and GuMiho, he wants the bases as well. There's what, 2 tanks left? Now the tanks are going down. GuMiho, where are we going? A little bit indecisive. We're going for more CCs. Does scan. Again, GuMiho still has mining bases. Bunny, no longer. Bunny, this is it. He lost everything else. He's got a handful of tanks, handful of Hellions. BC's moving in. GuMiho, he knows what he wants. Oh. This is teleport. Oh my god. Ravens have to get the hell out of here. This is one Yamato. But GuMiho does pull away. And again, he's just pulled Bunny apart. The mass cyclone is paid off. Has paid off. And he commits. Disables half the battle cruisers. Again, he's out of energy. Out of energy, but it looks like there are enough cyclones. Gets 1 BC. Takes down 1. Takes down 2. He's going to get all of them. Yeah, all the BCs are going to be going down. There's what, 3 BCs left. GG gets called, and GuMiho, he will take the series 3-1. He will advance on into the next round. GG. Let's go. Let us go. GG, well played, and GuMiho, he will claim the series 3-0. Very intense back and forth. Again, things were looking dire for GuMiho when it came to the mass battlecruiser transition from Bunny. He was able to get away with it, building up to 12 plus battlecruisers, and he was trading well for himself. He was harassing well, but we saw that GuMiho, with the more mobile composition, with arguably a little bit more of an efficient composition with those Ravens, was able to catch out tank after tank after tank. Likewise, go for those run-bys, deny bases, deny mineral lines, and pull apart the attention and the army of Bunny. GG. Let's go. Crazy, crazy. GG. GG, well played. With that, congratulations, GuMiho. You will claim the series. Oh my god. He will claim the series. He will claim that matchup. Hold on. Let's just update the admins. GG, well played. And with that, GuMiho will advance on into the next round to face off against Cure in another TvT. Let's go. They don't end. Not here.